Everybody, welcome back. Let's talk about it a little bit. Life in America just is kind of sad. And the average life of the average American person is just sad. It just is. It's a life of little to no purpose. It's a life with little to no family. It's a life of little to no friends. There just isn't much for people in America. Can you eat well? Yeah. Is there plenty of restaurants and fast food that you can go to? Yeah. Can you afford to go to them? If you're an average American, probably not. And if you do, you're probably just going to be using your credit card. Life in America is sad. It just is. And it's a shame because there's such beautiful places in this country, but nobody even goes to them. And I know that that's not something that's atypical. You know, anywhere I've traveled into the world, out there, right? I'm getting out there. The most beautiful places, the people who are from there, the natives, right? The denizens of these countries, they never actually go to these places. Like, I can't tell you how many people I met in Athens that never went to the Acropolis. No, it's pretty famous that if you're from New York City, you've never gone to the Statue of Liberty, right? They avoid Times Square like the plague. And we just avoid places, the places, the notable places that are key to where we're from. We just avoid them. So what that means is people in America just kind of stay in their houses, right? They come home from work, have a little bit of money, maybe order DoorDash, get overpriced slop from a local restaurant or fast food place, and then just sit inside and watch Netflix. Right, watch Amazon Prime, catch up on the latest show, go online, watch people complain about it. Welcome. This was what American life is. This is what life is here. You don't go out there and do things anymore. It's like people in their early 20s maybe will go out there and do some stuff. Maybe very few. It seems that way. It seems like those are the only people that are doing it. Getting out there and living life in America, if you're older, just seems to be you're living in a van now, right? You're RVing it across the country, and that's life. You become homeless. Living an adventurous life in America is just being homeless. It's a sad place. But because we're people who aren't represented in our culture. Our media sucks now. The movies suck now. When's the last time a movie came out and created a new fandom, right? That people wanted to get behind. This is it now, I love a good fandom, right? Star Wars kid. Love it. Love Game of Thrones. That was great. Read all the books. Harry Potter was a big one for my brothers. For my wife, she loves Harry Potter. But that's it, though. I mean, what is it to have a life in America? Really, what is it? That old idea of growing up, getting a job, having a house, having kids, having family, having a wife, white picket fence, that's dead. Nobody wants that anymore. Nobody wants it anymore because the things that come attached to it now. What is it? Divorce rates are 90% in America, right? Kids hate their parents. Elders aren't respected. Insurance rate and property taxes just go through the roof. So, you're just always going to be, and if you are an elderly person on Social Security or something like that, because those costs keep going up, what life do you even have to live at that point? The average life for an average American is sad. It's just sad. That's why I argue personally, the best life an American can have isn't even in America. It's abroad. Full stop. Right? If you're wealthy, yeah, you can have a great life in America. If you're upper middle class, you can have a good life in America, yeah. But if you're an average, we're talking about the average person in America, right? Making 40, 50K a year, if you're lucky. Your job security doesn't exist anymore. Layoffs happening all over the place. Things are getting more expensive. The average American, what life can you have? You're not in the rat race anymore. You're just on the hamster wheel, the unending hamster wheel where there's no brakes. The rat race is dead. The hamster wheel is thriving. And that's what Americans live on, the hamster wheel. And You got to jump off at some point. And the only way to jump off is to just be like, screw it. You know, I'm going on welfare. I'm going on unemployment, because that's the only break you can actually get in life now, is going on unemployment. Or you could just bail, leave the country. Honestly, it's a good life. Outside of the States, it's a good life. If you're someone who's on a fixed income, or man, even if you can hustle a little bit online, maybe do some content creation, and get a few $1,000s a month together, you can have a great life somewhere else. Like I said, the best place to be an American isn't in America. It's not. And people are like, well, people don't want Americans. Shut up. Shut up. People don't care. If you're a decent person, you're fine. It doesn't matter. No one cares about where you're from, right? I've never been to a place where they're like, oh, you're an American? You better get out of here. That never happens. The people who say that are just bitter people, or people who've never traveled, who are scared to actually live a life, comfortable in the bullshit hamster wheel that they've been on, afraid to make a change. Not everyone's afraid to make a change. Some people just don't know where to go. Some people just don't know what path to take. Some people don't even know there is another path. And that's because of fear. We are afraid to make changes. We are. Because it's beaten into us that if we move away from what's expected of us, right? And that pressure point that society puts on us, that it's all going to fall apart, that we can't make it. We can't succeed. We can't thrive. We can't have a good life. We're going to end up on drugs and homeless. Our families are going to hate us, right? We're going to be one of the dredges. No one's going to care. And no one cares anyway. That's the thing. Because life in America is sad. No one cares. No one cares because everyone's so wrapped up in just trying to survive here. Like I said, the average American. What life do we have here? You want to travel? You want to go in debt? Have you tried to travel around America? Tried to go on a road trip now? You know how much that costs just to do a road trip in America now? Right? Even if you're, let's say, $150 a night in a hotel, $100 in gas. Food when you travel is expensive unless you're making it on your own. So, roughly $300 a day. Right, what are you going to go on a 10-day road trip? 60-70% of America doesn't have $1,000 saved up. So who's going to be spending $3,000 a month to go on a nice road trip? And that's like covering the bare essentials, the minimum, right? You can't do anything because life here is sad. Because you're not supposed to have fun anymore. You're not supposed to have adventure. You're not supposed to have a life. That's all it is. You're not supposed to have a life. The focuses in change that we want in America are just to make people work more, right? That's all it is. Everyone just wants to make work more of a center of their life. Get away from it. Dude, work sucks. It steals your life from you. And the wages that we make make marginal improvement to our life. Just make sure that we're not homeless. Because that's what life in America is to the most normal American person, is just making sure that you don't become homeless. Your everyday struggle is about stopping yourself from being homeless. That's why so many people hit a certain age and they're just like, screw this, right? I'm tired of renting. I'm tired of working. I'm tired of building nothing. I'm just going to go live in my van because that makes sense. And you know what? It does make sense. That's the thing. And as much as I hate that, right, it does make sense, right? I was lucky enough that I have enough of an income that I can go ahead and live in other places and I'll be just fine. And I don't even make that much money, right? If you have $3,000-$4,000 a month and you're living pretty much anywhere else on the planet, dude, you are set. You are absolutely set. Like I said, screw what other people say. Just go live that life, right? If nothing here is changing, get out of here. And you're like, you gotta stay and fight. Who's fighting? Who's fighting? Nobody's fighting for change, right? You have a couple politicians are getting loud and uppity. That means nothing. People aren't doing anything. People aren't hitting the streets. People aren't taking up. We always talk about how important the Second Amendment is in America. No one's using that for the purpose that it was made. People are talking about the liberty tree every now and then must be fed with the blood of patriots. No one's doing that. This country doesn't care. The people here, and that's the thing, if you don't stand for anything, and you're like, you look at this country and you look at the life here and you're just like, you know what, this just kind of sucks. What are you fighting for? What are you fighting for? For your side to be in charge and life still suck, but at least your side is in charge? Life in America is sad. And I know people are gonna be like, well, it's like that everywhere. Life is sad everywhere. Yeah, okay, you're right. Life is sad everywhere, but it's better in other places. Yeah, here what? Yeah, I got a truck. Yeah, you work hard enough, you can get a house that will kill your monthly income. You know, maybe you'll pay it off one day, and then you don't have to worry about it as much. But still, you know, like, what's the goal? What's the goal? Work 29 days a month, you know, so you can save up enough to take the 30th and 31st off and go have fun a little bit. Go to NASCAR. Love NASCAR. You know, go watch WWE, go to a football game. Hollow escapism is the only real adventure we have in America, right? Meaningless escapism. That's it. Life in America is sad. I can go on and on about it because it's a tragedy to see people, so many good people, right? So many good people in this country who would like to go out there and just live their life. And the funny thing is, most people can, right? Like, oh, you can't just be a digital nomad. You don't have to be a digital nomad to save up some money and bail for like 6 months. Do that. You know how many people I've talked to on here that spend like half their time in the Philippines and then half back in America, right? They live their life for those 6 months. They'll come back and work for 6 months. That's great. That sounds great. That's not a sad life, right? Getting out there and actually living free. Listen, I'll take 6 months of financial freedom and trade that for 6 months of like just working your ass off. That's great. Because other than that, it's just, you're just working just enough, right? You're showing up and you're phoning it in, right? And you have the weekends. That's sad. I mean, just do what you have to do to get out of here, honestly. Because the average life here is just bull. It's bull. And just breaks people mentally. But you can't let it break you. Because if you do break and sometimes you just can't handle life anymore, guess what? Homeless. And there's a reason you don't see homeless people all over the world like you do in America. But at least they have families in other parts of the world, you know, where people can kind of fall back, or there's a support system. Or if you're doing real bad, right, if you're real down in the dumps, people are at least there to pat you on the back and pull you up a little bit. But here it's like, you know, people love watching somebody fall. Love it. It's the new national pastime is watching heroes fall. We love to gossip. We love to see people's lives fall apart because, man, we enjoy it. Now that's good entertainment. That's better than Netflix. Life in America is sad, and it's made our people sad. Ugh. I don't know. Listen, I've got a concert to go to, and I just want to stop by and say something because, I don't know, we're about to start a massive road trip. Get out of here. Get out of the Midwest. This place, done with it for a while. So we're going to be in the Appalachians for a bit, right? Going to go to Maryland. Love Maryland, right? From Maryland. Head down south, maybe a little bit of Hilton Head, Tybee Island. Heading down to Miami. Going to go to Key West for a little bit. And then we're going to head back up New Orleans, Nashville, see some friends there. And then come back to this god-awful place and plan the next trip. Maybe California. Who knows? But we're getting out there. Come with us and experience getting out of the normal, average, sad life, right? Because that's all we're trying to do. Guys, as always, thank you for stopping by. Like and subscribe, become a member. Really excited to get out of this place because it has just been too long. And I need to go get a nice, proper sunburn on the beach. So, again, thank you for stopping by. You guys have a good one.